Greetings. This is David Murphy, publisher of the National Black Unity News. And I'm doing an interview with one of our editors, Mr. Neal Spencer, from out of Sherman, Texas. And welcome, Mr. Spencer, to the podcast. How are you?
I'm doing fine, David. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, great. And Mr. Spencer agreed to do this interview because he wanted to share some information about himself and about some of the things he's about to do and doing in Texas. And let me give you a little history on our relationship. See, a couple of years, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a year ago or something, Mr. Spencer was searching for something because he has a vision and a dream. And somehow he found me on the internet somewhere, and he told me about his vision, and he was sick, and he was saying it was very difficult in his search, just trying to find somebody to work with him on his vision. And he didn't know at the time that I kind of cut my teeth on directories, and that's how I started my first business. Really, it was in that area, and I felt his spirit in a sense that he had a desire to network with black businesses in Sherman, and then after plenty of conversations, he expanded that vision to the entire state of Texas. And so again, I'm gonna let him explain to you a little bit what that vision was about when he first received it. And Mr. Spencer, uh, when you first got this feeling or idea of starting a network with business, how did that come to be?
Well, it all started, I suppose, it started with my entrepreneur pursuits, or I say it's entrepreneur spirit. I always wanted to do something uh, out of the box, away from a traditional 9 to 5. I was always trying to do something on the side. But as I tried different things, I tried recording studios, I tried it making suitcases, I tried scrapping metal, I tried a variety of things. And I realized that I had that kind of spirit that I wanted to do my own thing rather than working 9 to 5. And even as I worked a 9 to 5, I always had a business on the side that I would operate in. Uh, I guess you could call it a hustle. But then I started looking around at black businesses. And I said, "Hey, we're all out here trying to make it and do different things. Why don't we incorporate? Why don't we unite and make it better for all of us? Because we could share common knowledge and experience." And so I would try to get groups of young black men and women together to just talk about the businesses we could unite with, or even the businesses we had a desire to start. It seemed like I would get them together and we'd have one or two meetings, and it would always fall apart. There was always somebody who would discourage everybody else and say it wouldn't work. And so I've been doing that since 2015, trying to get groups of like-minded business people together to move forward. And I really wanted to do it here in Sherman, Texas. That's where I live. And so I was trying to gather the business together here in this town together, and never could get off the ground. And I finally put a business list together of over 50 businesses local here in this county, Grayson County. And nobody could believe that we had 50 businesses, black business. And said that was my first thought of trying to unite us, get us on a list and show people that we did have businesses and we need to support them. And so it went from there. I was always looking for somebody that could have the same interests and same mindset, that we could come together and unite and pull these businesses together. But I never could find anybody that thought like I did. and I happened to see David Murphy. I don't know where I saw the Unity Black newspaper, or how we got connected, but one day I saw his publication and I called him. I think I contacted him and told him what I was trying to do here in Texas, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, maybe this is a divine appointment," which he always says. And I think it was because I was searching for someone with like similar interests, and the paper, it was so full of black entrepreneurs and authors and professionals that were coming together on one accord to try to make things better for the community, for the black people. In general, I said, man, this is why I gotta get hooked up with this organization. Next thing I know, I'm I'm called to be a author. I'm like, what? I don't. Anyway, I went along with that, and I wrote an article for the first publication. I think I wrote another. David hit me with another. But I'm just excited that that David has suggested we take us a bit further. Maybe do poor businesses in Texas, because there's so many businesses out there that do not have a direction or do not have a unity. And he kind of convinced me, hey, maybe look at the bigger picture. So Sherman is where I initiated what I thought about pulling together businesses. And David helped me expand my thinking on maybe expanding from Sherman to Texas and beyond. So I've started here in Sherman. I'm still working on the businesses here, but I'm also looking at Texas. Hey, if somebody wants to unite and make their fingerprint bigger in Texas, because Texas is growing, Sherman is growing. So we need to get on board right now, get established in whatever business we have, and advertise to the whole world that we're here, and people take notice of that. So I'm just glad that David and I met and we connected, and we're doing something, and we're doing something positive that I think will affect the outcome of businesses that really want to go somewhere. Haven't given up on Sherman, but I think Sherman is sometimes I used to say it's a tough nut to crack, but I think through diligence, through trying to persuade or trying to just show people that we have the backing of the Unity Black News. We have people in place that can help us grow, and that this is real. People don't believe what you tell them; they believe what they see you doing. So I think it's important that we establish this state directory, local directory, that the people can say, "Hey, this is legit. This is something I need to get connected to." So David, thank you for helping me out, and we're we're going to the top. We're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I know you're not going to stop, so we're going to keep pushing.
That's right. And guess what else? They say iron sharpens iron. And see, ladies and gentlemen, when Mr. Spencer approached me with his idea about the directory, it just, that's exactly what I do, but on a national basis. We bring black businesses and services together to uplift our people, to support one another, to highlight one another, because this is a vast world and technology is moving so swiftly. And with Mr. Spencer and I, when we put our forces together, see, we coming up with not only a directory that people can sign in on, have their own pages on it, but not only that, networking, where businesses can come together, share information with one another, like as he explained. Also, in the very near future, we're going to be doing podcasts where he can invite those businesses on, to talk about who they are, what they do, and why they do it. And not only that, what Mr. Neal Spencer is doing, See, he's putting together a blueprint in the state of Texas that could be done in every state.
Yeah.
This is so powerful that he and I were just talking before we started this interview about how divine inspiration comes in and guides us because he said this thing wouldn't let him go, so he's driven, he's committed. And but the thing is, we're going to show people, like he said, sometimes people need to see something. So we building a website. It's already there. And we're going to be building upon it. We're going to be inviting businesses all over the state of Texas and those national businesses that do businesses everywhere. They're welcome as well. And I encourage you strongly, if you know people in Texas or you want to do business in Texas, Mr. Neal Spencer is the man that you need to talk to because he's putting together a foundation that is so strong and so needed in our community. And before I go back to Mr. Spencer, let me just share this with you. I'm going to spend some truth on something. And a lot of people, we always looking at glass ceilings and stuff like this. But the truth be told, if you are a black business owner, not only in the state of Texas, but anywhere, 90% of your business, people that are going to support your business is going to look just like you. And I know sometimes we put each other down and saying, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do this with each other. But if you look at the facts of life, Asian people support Asian businesses. Jewish people support Jewish businesses. Italian businesses support Italian businesses. Then once in a while, they might drop in and support you here and there, but 90% of the time, it's going to be us. So in other words, nobody going to come to save our business or services but us. So we might as well open our eyes, our pocketbooks, and everything else and start dealing with one another. And Mr. Smith is making that happen. To, like I say, to bring exposure to so many black entrepreneurs. And when we come together, see that synergy, that energy and synergy that come together is a powerful, powerful force. And thank God for a man like Mr. Neal Spencer because we both know we're both God driven, but at the same time we mission driven. But we do know that the work that we're doing today will pay off for tomorrow because this can only help us. And so, Mr. Spencer, you also not only with the networking and everything, can you tell them the name of your network?
Ebony Small Business Network.
That's right. Y'all heard that? Say it again, sir.
Ebony Small Business Network.
And there's a website up just in that name, the Ebony Small Business Network.com. And you can go there. Actually, you can sign up today. And Mr. Spencer, you also operate a business. Can you tell us expand a little bit on the business that you're operating now?
Okay, right now I have a business called Spiffy Spa Mobile Detailing. And we do full detail buffing, interior cleaning, engine cleaning. We go through the car completely. And we do ceramic coating, which is popular these days. And we do most things. We do fleet trucks. We do commercial vehicles. We do just about anything that comes up there. And we've been in business 7 years, and we're trying to keep it going. We are keeping it going, but I like I say, what I want to do is stay in business long enough to prove that we can establish something here locally, and it's just going from here, wherever nationally. But we also have incorporated U-Haul and some other things that add to the business. When you start a business or you run a business, you see other opportunities. So we're looking around at real estate and investing and all sorts of things that keep us going.
We will be right back.
Supporting Black-owned businesses can help stabilize a community and create more opportunities for meaningful savings, property ownership, credit building, and generational wealth. It is important to be intentional about providing support beyond the holidays and throughout the year. There are currently 2.6 million Black-owned businesses in America, where 8 out of 10 fails within their first 18 months due to the lack of resources and funds. By simply taking time to shake up our buying habits, we can contribute to strengthening Black businesses, encouraging job growth, and closing gaps in equity and opportunity. You must expose your business or service. The Ebony Small Business Network can help you to expose and promote your business or service through our directory, events, podcasting, and local, national and international marketing campaigns. Building a relationship with Black-owned businesses is the key to support. That's what true support and partnership look like for the Ebony Small Business Network. Support looks like taking the time to get to know the Black business owners. Support also looks like spotlighting in newspaper, interviews, podcasts, etc. But not just one and done. Let's network and get to know each other. We believe in your business's mission, vision, and values. We must invest in us. The greatest way to support Black-owned businesses and organizations is financial. Find a business or organization that provides a service or sells a product that you enjoy, appreciate, or need and spend your money there. Financial stability is the true key to economic empowerment. When a Black-owned business thrives, that leads to more jobs and a stronger workforce, not only for economically distressed areas but in affluent communities as well. We are helping to build a strong economy.
Welcome back. Okay. And also, you're a family man. If you care to share, and tell a little bit about your family life.
Yes, I've been married for 41 years, 82. I think it's 41. I get it wrong sometimes. But I have a beautiful wife, and she supports whatever I do. I have 2 children and I think 9 grandkids.
Wow.
And 2 great grandkids.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
But we're all doing well, and they're all working and trying to survive this life. And I'm just trying to be inspiration to them. One thing I want to emphasize to them, that we can make it without a 9-to-5. We can make it with our own business. We can make it by developing a support system for our young people. What they call generational wealth.
Yes.
Trying to establish that, in myself, so that they can see that it is a reality, that it can happen. So,
Mr. Spencer, let me ask you this, because speaking of your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. Now, I'm a grandfather. I got 2 children as well, and I ain't boasting or bragging. I got 12 grandchildren.
Okay.
But you beat me in the great grands, though. But this, when I see my grandchildren and my children, but especially my grandchildren, I look at what's going on today in the world and what they're up against, especially because of the color of their skin and everything, what they're up against. And that's one of the reasons why I continue to do what I do, because I think about them and their future. Like you just said, leaving an inheritance, a legacy for our future generations. Now, tell me something. When you see your grandchildren and you think about business, how do you feel? I mean, what do you see? What do you hope for them?
Well, like I said, I'm trying to show them living proof of that we can make it on our own in business. And I have them come around my business to see how I operate and understand that I can't be with them all the time. I got to go take care of business. And I think they understand that, it's more to life than just working for someone else. I'm trying to get that in their mind, that there are things that you can do that can create your own wealth. You don't have to depend on other people. And I think that they're seeing that, they're learning that, they're understanding that by what I do.
That's right.
And I try to teach them to think out of the box. Like I ask my great grands every day, I say, well, what did you learn today? They said, we didn't learn nothing. I said, I asked them about animals in Africa. I said, where's the elephant at? What country? Just to stimulate their minds to think more than just normal people do. Think differently Read. I tell them to read something, study. Tell me something you learned today. Just challenge their mind, because if you don't challenge people, they just get in a routine. So I like to challenge them to think different ways, to explore different things, to see different things, to try different things, to get out of the box. I got them in boxing and two, which is, wow, you wouldn't believe the discipline of. I'm gonna throw out a shout out to Andre Looper, if he ever hears it. He's got a boxing club in Sherman for the youth, and he's an ex-Marine, so they're learning discipline, they're learning teamwork, they're learning to do a skill, not ordinarily in sports that you see like regular sports, but it's teaching them how to navigate in life and have a discipline about them. Not that they're going to grow up to be boxers, but they're going to grow up to be uh, adults that lead, because they learned leadership when they were young. So that's the kind of things I'm trying to teach them and have them around.
And that's so good, because like I say, things we do today would affect theirs tomorrow's. And I appreciate you for that. But I want to ask you one more question before we shut down. Is this? You and I talk, we get off, we talk about business, but then we get into the personal thing about passion sometimes, what drives us sometimes. And then of course there's all kinds of information floating around out there. But and when we alert, we listen, but there so many forces come from so many different ways. But like myself personally, I'm on a mission, and by divine inspiration. When I say divine, I'm saying God. That's what I'll be straight up about it. And this is my purpose in life, to uplift up as a people. And like I said, there's nothing special about what I do, because men and women has been doing this all throughout the Bible. People have always stood. God has always raised people up to stand up for their people. That's what Samson did. That's what Gideon did. That's what Moses did. So I can go on and on and on and on. How God, even in our lifetime, we seen the Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X's, they stood up for their people and paid the ultimate price for it as well. But God has always raised people up all over the world who will take a stand for our people. Even from, like he just said, the gentleman with the boxing club, he's standing up for our people. You got the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, whoever leads them, standing up for our people, standing in the gap. And what I want to ask you, sir, and this is kind of personal, but on the surface, yeah, all them things that you mentioned before are good and honorable, helping us so we can help ourselves. But you personally, how do you feel? How do you feel about why you doing this? What is your driving force for doing this?
Yes, David, you were asking about my passion and why I'm so passionate about the way I do, or the way I feel. I I'm a loner. I belong to myself a lot. As a kid, I didn't want to play with other kids. I wanted to be by myself. But as I got older, I started realizing that I wanted to help people be all they could be. When I got saved, as some people call it, when I got closer to God, when I was spiritually enlightened, I wanted to go to everybody and get them to feel the same way I did about God, about spirituality, about a new mindset. And so I would try to have my little gospel meetings with men on the streets. And I go out and invite people off the street to come to my little meeting. I wanted to tell them about God and how God could set you free. And all the men that I try to reach, most of the men wouldn't come in, maybe one or two. But I met a pastor that said the men you try to reach are in prison or in jails. And said, go in and see if you like it. If you like it, you love it. If it doesn't appeal to you, you won't go back. So it appealed to me that here in jail, where all the men I tried to reach in the streets were sitting in the jailhouse, coming to church, and I guess wanted to hear the word of God, wanted to improve their lives, wanted to hear something positive. And that's where my passion started. And I was always had an entrepreneur spirit. That's a passion too. So I wanted men and women in prison and men on the streets and black people in general to understand that we can be more than what we think we are. We could do more than we have been doing. We could reach higher and achieve more than we ever thought we could. But we have to have a mindset, paradigm shift. We have to change our thinking. And God helped me do that. So that's where I come from. But I have a passion to not only show men and women the community, but my family. Show them that there is another way to even receive finances, or there's another way to think outside the box. I'm very inventive, creative. I've always got a garden. I've always, it's been something like a leaf shredder or a soil sifter. You probably don't know what these things are, but they're things that I've thought about, and then I just go out and try to do it. So my passion is to teach and show people, be an example that you don't have to live one way, mundane, restricted, a life, that you can do other things. You can reach for your passions. You can come out of the box and be all that you can be. So thank you, David, for helping me move on my journey, be encouraged in my journey, and just finding someone who thinks like you do helps you a lot. So thank you for that. And I tell everybody, explore your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams. Get God in agreement with you. He said, in His word that He would make the crooked path straight. And I believe He's in you. He's a part of you. And when you're in agreement with Him, you can do all things. You can do all things. You can be more than what you are or what they said you were going to be. So with that, I could go on and on forever once I start talking. But once again, God bless, God keep, encourage each other, teach other, admonish each other, and just help each other. Because we're in this journey, but we're not alone. And those that don't know, teach them if they're willing to listen, willing to learn. Because we all grow together, we all come up together, we lift each other up. So with that, God bless.
I want to thank Mr. Neal Spencer for taking his time out for this interview. And I just want to share with this in closing. You see, as I mentioned earlier, God always raises up people to stand in the gap for their people, our people. And that don't mean we put down any group or race of people. All we're trying to do is equal the playing field. And that's all Mr. Spencer is doing, equaling the playing field. And bringing hope to a people who have been trodden upon. I just leave it like that. But out of the ashes, there's always light. And he's bringing life back not only to Sherman, but throughout the historic state of Texas. But not only in the state of Texas, as I mentioned before, this is the blueprint for the entire country. And so, again, I thank Mr. Neal Spencer for his time, for his energy, for his service to us, Black melanated people. And and I also encourage you to go to his website, smallbusinessnetwork.com, smallbusinessnetwork.com. And you see some information on there. We are working together. We are building together. See, not only are we talking about it, we're doing it. See, he's doing the thing in Texas, I'm doing my thing nationwide, but we are connected. He's the editor in the National Black Unity News. You can find his information there as well. You can find him on the website. You can find him at Spiffy Spa. You know, this brother's here, there, and he's everywhere, but everywhere he's at, he's serving. So again, thank you, Mr. Neal Spencer, for your time. Thank you, Mr. Neal Spencer, for your energy. Thank you for your service, sir, and God bless. This is David Murphy. Support the Small Business Network. Also support the National Black Unity News, because we all in this together, and our mission is to uplift us. And you can find us at the end credits, and we thank you for your time. This is David Murphy saying until the next time, God bless.